Hi everybody, I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer and you can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. Now, I have a daily forecast there that you can become a member of if you like. You can also contact me through the live link right below this video if you would like to have your own private session, and which I always recommend. We do that once a year anyways, so give me a buzz if you would like. Today I want to talk about November, and this forecast is for Leo. So let me start off with some of the generic things that are going on for the month, but I'm going to tell you they're less than generic. Let me tell you, they're more than generic. Let's put it this way. So much Scorpio energy going on. It is crazy. There is so much shifting and changing, and it has been a theme for the year, it seems like. But with the eclipse that we just had in Scorpio that ushered in a lot of shifts and changes, that was a new moon, so this be things that we should be welcoming. But in November, we're coming up to the full moon. All right, but on November 3rd, I want to start with the Sun and Venus are conjunct in the sign of Scorpio. Now, this can be very passionate love, and it can represent us really getting in deep and taking that leap of faith and really trusting a love relationship. But it can also be a form of obsession in a way. We get too involved in a relationship, too deep in a relationship, start keeping secrets or start digging out secrets. Venus is not naturally does not naturally care for this sign because her natural sign is Taurus, which is the opposite energy. So when a planet is in its opposite sign, it's in its detriment, and that means it won't function in perfection, which is fine because nothing functions in perfection. But with Venus and Scorpio, we can become rather obsessed about what it is that we love. Now, besides being a person, it could be the things and the possessions that we have. There could be a big shift going on in your life depending on what your certain life circumstances are about. So it could be a very big material shift going on for you. Or again, like I said before, about love and passion. And if you fall in love with somebody too deeply and you can't let it go, then that can become an obsession and a problem. So make sure that you don't fall into that category, all right? But things will show up if you are, and they'll let you know. So hopefully you're aware enough. If you're watching this, I think you're already aware enough. So keep that in mind. Now, on November 4th and 5th, what I want to talk about here is that moon is in the sign of Aries, and that is a very adventurous, aggressive type moon. Doesn't have to be aggressive in a bad way, but it's just aggressive, where if I'm emotional about something, you're going to know it. All right? And that is the energy that we feel around us. Maybe within, something's trying to come up, or around us, or in the news, or people that are close to us will bring these things to our attention. But the problem with this, maybe it's a problem, maybe it isn't. Maybe you can just use it to be very energetic about what you need to do in that 4th, 5th time period. All right, the 4th and 5th of November. It's making a square to Mars, to Pluto. They're in Capricorn. So that type of square is, it's a cardinal square, so that means that there can be some action that is initiated with this process, with this new moon, with this moon in Aries. But you have to take the steps to do it. It might not be easy, but it's definitely going to, if you make some changes now, it will change the foundation of what your life is about, which, so much coming up and out and transitioning these days. There is nothing wrong with knowing where your foundation really, truly lies. And if you have to dig some stuff away to find out where that foundation is, nothing wrong with that. It's probably a blessing. The moon will also be in conjunction with Uranus, so that creates unexpected events and happenings. So yeah, stay on your toes on the early part of November. Next, we have the full moon. That will be on November 6th. And for you Leos, it is in your 10th house, and that's your career sector. So Taurus is in the 10th house for you. And that's where the full moon is as well. So what it's bringing up into that point is some sort of awareness as to something going on at work. There might be a shift happening for you at work. Don't be frightened. Shifts happen. That sounds funny. But I know I'm entertaining myself here. So with that full moon in Taurus in that career sector, I feel that our values shift. So then our careers shift. Or what we're known for shifts. Or how we're known. It's our public image as well. So whether, whatever our social status happens to be, it shifts that. So But if Taurus is there, that means you really value what you have. You value your career. You value your social status. This full moon can actually bring something up that's going to shift and change that for you. Especially because the eclipse was in the opposite end of this on October 23rd. So it could very well be that something at home has changed what's going on out in the career world and out in the world for you. And I'm pretty sure of that. Most of us haven't gotten through this eclipse without having some massive stresses. But, you know, you have a stress and, you know, like, oh, I have stresses too. Even though I see it clearly what's going on in my own chart, I still have stresses and I work through them. And then it's better. But pushing them aside, not so much. But this Scorpio energy that's very, very dominant these days and wants us just to work through it. We can't stuff any more of this. There's no more room to stuff anything. So with this full moon on November 6th, in that career sector for you, that 10th house, make sure that you focus on those things I just mentioned, all right? And releasing and letting go. Let's move on. On November 8th, Mercury is at 0 degrees of Scorpio. That is the same location that we had the eclipse on October 23rd. That means there is communication that needs to happen now. Mercury is back where it was when it went retrograde. It went retrograde at 2 degrees of Scorpio back in October. Now it is at back to 0 degrees of Scorpio. Again, right where that eclipse was. What was going on over the last 2 weeks? There's a lot to do with communication and partnerships and relationships. You have something to say, I really would recommend you say it. Sit down and have those conversations. Those really do it with a sense of calmness, and really dig in deep. What do you need in your relationships? What do you need in a partnership? And really work on that for yourself and with your partner. And if you don't have a partner, work on it with yourself. What do you truly need? You know, you can tell the universe what you want. You don't have to. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's up to you. So with it in the sign of Scorpio, we can really dig in deep. Now, if you can't have a conversation with somebody that you need to clear the air with, then you write it down and burn it, or you just go into meditation, maybe invite them in meditation. Do some shamanic journeying. Things like that are what we can do with the Scorpio energy, and they're what we can do in a very productive, very good way. Very productive way. So do some journeying, do some journaling, do some meditation, do some conversations. These are all things that we need to do because we have some more stuff coming up in the next couple days that will compound these things I've just said. The compounding is not bad, it's just it will add to it. So on the 11th and 10th and 11th of November, Mars does meet up with Pluto at this point. And so that will help us to truly dig away all the debris and all the crap that's hanging around. I know that's such a great word. All the stuff that's hanging around, so we can truly see what our foundation is, that Capricorn energy. They're both in Capricorn. So we can take any actions that we need to take in a very logical, practical manner, remove what is debris, because both Mars and Pluto are been rulers of Scorpio, are or is rulers of Scorpio. And that's Scorpio again. We've mentioned it more than once in these last couple of months. All about getting rid of the debris and just getting rid of the waste so we can transition into a more deeper sense of ourselves and where we are and where we fit in this world. Now, the Leo moon, that will be at the 13th and the 14th of November. That's going to make a square to all this Scorpio stuff too. All right, so they're both fixed. They're both fixed signs, and so that is a bit of tension. And with that tension, especially with you being a Leo, you know that we have to have some action. So there's usually something that just comes to a boiling point so we can take action. All right? It doesn't typically feel well because it's a square, so it's an obstacle, it's a challenge. But meet the challenge, and once we meet the challenge, those challenges always equal opportunities. So it's important for you to, if you feel on the 13th and the 14th while that moon is moving through your sign of Leo, then it is important for you to make sure that you take action and don't just sit back and do nothing, because things can explode if you do that. All right, so November 22nd. That's the next lunar event. It's a new moon in Sagittarius. Now, new moon in Sagittarius, that's a lot of fun. It's all about exploration, through having fun, and learning and traveling, and it's a fair amount of independence. It's barely into Sagittarius, so we've got a little bit of Scorpio energy that comes with this new moon. But this new moon is in your 5th house, and that 5th house is all about being creative. That's your natural home. That's the natural home for your sign of Leo. So this is all about fun, and it's a fire house and a fire sign. So take this. This is fantastic for you. Be creative. Find that creative thing that is important for you to really go and run with and work with it. Now, if you choose that that's not anything that's important for you, then this will be about your children or the pets that you treat like children, or those pets that you dress, or the pets that you care for if you don't have children, or even if you do. But children, pets, and our creativity are all this part of the chart. And yes, I say pets, because I don't think pets are ruled by the 6th house really anymore, because people treat their pets like kids now. So just let that be. You can argue with me if you want, but I won't argue back. I don't like to argue. So take that energy of that fiery Sag new moon in your 5th house of creativity and the things we create, and the children we have in our lives, and use that for something fresh and new, because we sure have had an awful lot of stress with the Scorpio lately. So let's get more adventurous. Okay, and just learn. I mean, who doesn't learn when they're around kids? Play, have fun, and learn, travel, all of these great things. That's what that new moon wants us to do. Then on the 25th, we have the moon and Pluto conjunct, a little bit of an intense day, but nothing really serious to worry about. Emotions can calm down, which is great. It's just what we need. Mercury conjunct Saturn on that day as well, and again, that's all about focusing our thoughts into something that is very logical and very stable. Just getting this energy focused in nice and strong, okay? So I want us to do that as well. God, there's this weird bug in my room here. This is my office. It's really weird. He's floating around. It's cold in this part of the country now, so they're all coming in anywhere they can. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. And Thanksgiving Day here in the United States, a holiday, family gathering time period for most people, and that moon's in Aquarius, and that is a very unique and unusual place. The moon's always there once a month. It's not that unusual, but it is a quirky way to be emotional, or a day where we can just take some things that are non-traditional and make them a tradition. It'd be really fun. Use it as a fun day. Don't take it and get in your head into this thought that it's can't just seem to let something go. Don't do that. Some people can do that if they have the moon in Aquarius. They can get a thought in their head, or somebody said something to them, 20 years ago, and they're still talking about it today. You don't have to do that. Take the energy, especially during the holiday, especially if you're around family. Family always knows how to push all of our buttons, don't they? Use this Aquarius moon for a unique and fun and inventive way to have Thanksgiving this year. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for watching. Please come find me at nhastrologer.com. Find me on Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. Thank you for being here with gratitude and love. I will leave you. Blessed be. And namaste. Namaste.